Nothing beats winning. Is Hog stock way up today? The Hog Central Podcast is next.
This is the Hog Central Podcast, sponsored by Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. And now, here's your host, Steve Sullivan.
Welcome to the Hog Central Podcast. I'm Steve Sullivan, KATV sportscaster, along with former linebacker and team captain for the Arkansas Razorbacks, David Bazzel. One of his biggest accomplishments has to be the Little Rock Touchdown Club. Started how many years ago?
20 years ago.
Now it's one of the best in the country, and had Jimbo Fisher there today.
Yeah, I thought it was it. But Jimbo was good. He's a fast talker. I'm a fast talker, and he's even faster. So he was good. I thought, what you forget, Sully, he coached at Auburn for 6 years, so he coached against as assistant under Terry Bowden. Yeah. He goes to LSU and coaches with Nick Saban for 6 years against us, 5 or 6, including the Miracle on Markham and the Big McFadden up the middle and the Trendon Holiday kickoff return. Then he goes to A&M and he's 5-1. So Sully's he's 14 out of 19 against us as a coach.
Okay,
he was good. He was honest about some things and sort of got to talk about the money and.
He knows all about the money.
He does. He does. I didn't want to hammer him too bad that he's worth $100 million.
Hey, let's talk about the Hogs.
Yeah.
All kinds of ways you can look at this, but you taught me years ago, any SEC win, especially a road win, boy, is priceless.
Sully, we do not have a great record in season openers for conference games. In the SEC, not very good.
Yeah.
So when you're 1-0, Sully, in the conference, we'll take it. We saw Auburn do some things that we normally do. Fumble as you're going in the end zone.
Yeah.
Tip ball.
Hit a guy when he's out of bounds.
That. We saw some of you saw them making mistakes. Just like about time we get a couple breaks,
Yeah, Arkansas was the most disciplined team. Some of the good things that went on Saturday, they punched back. Auburn hit that big play to get within 3.
Yep.
Arkansas goes 12 plays, 75 yards, the last 10 running the ball. I wonder, it was flashbacks of Niall Davis.
It was. Well, first of all, Sully, it starts with, with a lot of discussion about Talen Green last week and about didn't play as well, didn't throw as well. My understanding is that Bobby Petrino said, run it. If you see something that you're not sure, run it.
Yeah.
And so it definitely looked like he was prepared to run the ball. And Sully, he was the difference in the game. Besides the defense playing well, he was the one. He was the threat to the defense that kept him off balance.
And Bobby Petrino is all about feeding the studs. If you look at the two most effective offensive weapons on this team, it's Talen Green and Jaquindon Jackson. And Jackson had 22 carries. Green had 18. And if you don't stop those two, you're not going to stop Arkansas.
Well, again, it was what we used to say about KJ and Rocket. For the offense to be successful, and that's where Dan Enos, blew it up last year. Is that those are your best two players. You got to, Jaquindon Jackson still leading the SEC after this week in rushing. The other guys is that I tell you, tough as nails. Andrew Armstrong, Sully, the way he got hit and came back and still made some key catches, and then Satania makes a key catch. But you're right, the keys of this offense are Jackson and Green.
Most depressing down for a team playing Arkansas is third
and long.
down. Third and long.
I tell you.
That's when Talen Green is at his best. That first series, it was 3rd and 12 to start. He just scoots 15 yards like that.
It's the most demoralizing, Sully. It's the most demoralizing thing is to have a 3rd and long and you let the offense convert it. I think we're still number 1 in the nation in third down conversions, if not right at the top.
And
long ones.
Long ones. The touchdown came on a 3rd and 19.
I'm telling you, it goes back to Oklahoma State. Same thing. We've seen this as a pattern.
It's Talen Green. I mean, you can pick your poison. Yeah. You can rush 3 or 4, and he'll have time to find someone, or he'll find a crease. And then if you come after him, he's so dangerous to just outrun you. And we found out, we were wondering,
he could do it.
He can outrun good athletes.
I told you he could. I told you it'd be more difficult, but he could. The other thing I was a little concerned about early in the game, Sully, and really it was throughout the throughout the game, our inability to deal with pressure.
Blitz. He said today. The blocking was terrible.
The blocking was terrible, and it almost looked like we weren't prepared. Besides just missing assignments, that we didn't have an answer. And I was like, I thought Coach Petrino would have an answer for that, knowing that they may bring pressure. But yeah, listen, the offensive line was exposed in some areas. Yeah. We saw. I hope that's not a sign of things to come.
He was disappointed too in the tight end and the way they pass blocked. And Jaquindon Jackson really struggled in the back. But one glaring mistake when on the 4th and short, where they tried to go big ball and that guy was on Talen in matter of seconds.
That was bad. And they were. Listen, there's some things to concern you, but like you said, Sully, they figured out a way to get the win. We're 3-1. Going against a team in Texas A&M that's a beatable team. Not saying they can win, but this is a winnable game, Sully. This is where you want to be. You could be 4-0 right now.
Yeah, you talk about the playmakers, Satania.
Yeah.
There's a guy in high school who was a great contested catch guy. And I found early in the game there was a pass to Broden, and I don't want to put all the fault on Broden, but it was a pretty good ball from Talen, and you got to help your quarterback. And I thought in that instance, Satania was open. Hey, the ball was thrown 60 yards on the run, so it was a little underthrown.
Yeah.
But he aggressively took the ball away from the defensive back.
That was a great play. And, listen, nothing against Broden. More balls to Satania, more balls to Armstrong, less to Broden. Just because those other two guys are producing. They're catching it. And, he's what a stud. You said he was open, Sully. You were right.
Yeah.
He was open. It took a while because he's running for his life back there to find him.
He's rolling to his left, plants, and fires at 60 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Talen Green.
Yeah. Well, that was a bad job of blocking by the offensive line on that one, too. But, again, they find a way to make the play. And then, of course, the other part of that story, Sully, 5 turnovers. We were looking for turnovers these first 3 games, and then it just comes in waves. Five, you should win a football game when you get 5 turnovers.
T.J. Metcalf, I thought he had the play of the game.
Oh, my gosh, he had several of them.
Not giving up on a guy going into the end zone, and he thinks to strip him at the 2-yard line. And then it's not an accident that he made 2 interceptions from the safety spot. This kid's in the right place. Gets the tip, but the second one, 9 out of 10 times, that's going to be incomplete pass, but he was right on the play and got it before it hit the ground. That kid's got something special. I mean, and I just think it says something about the mentality of that kid that's not giving up when you have that runner who's I thought he was in the end zone, and then bang.
I've never seen, first of all, I can't remember a guy that's been involved with 4 turnovers. He had 2 interceptions, the tip for one of the other ones, and then that punch out. That's amazing to do that 4 times. And Sully, I was watching the Auburn do that. I thought, that looks like something we would do. You're running in.
Yes.
Yeah, but so the of course, and he's related to Eric Metcalf, right? In some way.
He has a brother that's a freshman that'll be coming up.
Listen, that's what we're talking about production. Again, we didn't get a whole lot from the defensive line in terms of, disruption, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, that kid we sure did. I got a lot of points from him. Got a lot of production from him.
And you know what else was pretty good?
What's that?
Kick coverage.
Oh, my new favorite player.
Switzer?
Number 30.
30, the deep snapper.
I was like, who was that dude? I said, so let me look at
the other deep snapper quit.
I know. And I was like, who is 30? He's going crazy. He's running there. He's breaking down. He's just the deep snapper. Yeah. Is his name No?
No, it is No.
NGO. That's the kind of effort I'm talking about. So we need 12 of that kind of effort, 11 of that kind of effort every time on defense.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
I'd prefer a kickoff guy, and why we can't find a kickoff guy that can put it in the end zone, but they defended kickoffs very well, and that's a dangerous play.
All I know, Sully, is I'm telling you.
Our punter is kicking off now. I don't know what's happening there.
And he made it. I think he made a tackle.
Yes, he did.
So here's the deal. Here's what I just done, Sully. I can't go on the road, and watch us go 70 yards on the first drive and then trot a kicker out there for 40 yards and miss it. I just
50%. Sam Pittman is so good on being a glass half full guy, and he concentrated on the kick he made. But 50%
is not good enough. 50% is not good enough.
You don't want to trot a guy out there and think, well, he may hit it, he may miss it.
Is it me, or I thought we've been signing like the greatest high school kickers for the last 5 years?
Yeah, we have one committed.
I know about that again, but it seems like every year, he's the high school kicker of the year. And
we have one transfer that hasn't played yet, so I don't know if that was
Cam Little, we miss you.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, the good news is my bad list is very short.
Good, I like it.
And one is Talen Green.
Yes.
You know what's worse than an errant pass?
What's that?
A late pass.
Yep.
He almost got 2 receivers killed.
Yeah.
And I know that bothers him. Andrew Armstrong and Rodney Hill both got lit up, and you probably Petrino can tell him, but when he sees his teammates get hit like that, you know what Quinn Grovey used to call those things?
What's that?
Medicine balls.
Yeah.
You throw the ball, and when you release it, you know that receiver's going to need medical attention after he catches it.
Yeah.
But that's something that gets to a quarterback. And Talen Green, I'm convinced he cares. He doesn't want to see his teammates hit like that.
No, listen, I did not think Armstrong would play the rest of the game, Sully. That also speaks to how tough he is. He said it was the toughest hit he's ever had. The fact he was in the game a few plays later.
He came back and played a great game.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's what I'm talking about.
And it seems like at least once in every game, and we're good at getting in 2nd and 10, 1st and 15. Sure. It's a bad snap. I mean, Oklahoma State, we saw it again Saturday. And we're shooting at a big target. He's 6'6".
Yeah, like he's had to put his arms out in each direction. I think it was only one though, but it was just like, oh my gosh,
at a key time. And it's a glaring mistake because you're not seeing the other team have the bad snaps.
Can you imagine if it bothers us how it makes Bobby Petrino feel that he just loses his mind? Are you kidding me?
Luke has.
Yeah, we still keep scratching our heads, Sully. I don't understand it. I know they have to keep him in there to block every once in a while. I know his back's hurting, but I'm just surprised that he hasn't been a more targeted part of the offense. I don't understand. It's just the way. Maybe I don't know if they just because of the routes that are running or the scheme that they just don't target him.
For one series, Bobby Petrino switched to Singleton at quarterback.
Yep. You know why?
Well, he said it was cramps.
That's what Sam said.
Said it was cramps.
That's what he said.
That followed a series where on the read option, he handed it to Jackson, and I think 5 defenders. I think his mindset was probably, I don't want to get hit anymore. And then he underthrew a pass, and it was picked off. If it was indeed cramps, it was a good time for him to take a break. Either way, I think he needed to spend a little time on the sideline.
Sure.
And, he got battered. I think he probably would have, liked that having that one series.
Well, Sully, we talked about this kid. He's not a thick guy. He's 6'7", like 200 pounds.
He took some shots.
He did, and I keep worrying about is he not going to be able to get up one day? But he's a tough kid. He's a tough kid too.
Yeah, you think it was cramps, or do you think Bobby just reeled him in for let's think about this?
I just don't know if you can be as affirmative as Sam Pittman was if it's not.
Yeah,
I thought it was sort of odd.
Yeah.
The time because he had not played well at the last couple of drives. They were needing a spark, and Singleton didn't have a great series either,
Yeah, and after that...
he was obviously a superstar.
Yeah.
Again, he's just like KJ Jefferson. As he goes, his team goes.
Hey, the difference in that game is I thought we had Talen Green and they did.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Shame on you, Freeze, to keep trotting that quarterback out after 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions. I mean, come on. Yes.
I know.
And he was making freshman mistakes. The first pass should have been an indicator when he threw into traffic on a first down.
Well, again, that's the difference between, in this league, having a good quarterback and not quarterback, winning and losing. Because I think that's the difference in the game, Sully, was our quarterback was better than their quarterback.
And I like to be the more disciplined team. You saw early in the game when they scored their first touchdown. It's 3rd and long. Green is going out of bounds, throws it away.
Yeah.
One of the most selfish plays in football is then to shove him.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, and it led to a touchdown.
Yeah, just stupid. Again, some of the things that we used to see our team that we didn't do them. And so I was like, finally, we get a few breaks.
Yeah.
Finally get a few breaks. And sometimes, Sully, you do that. Again, remember we talked about it? That's the 6th straight year the road team has won. I'll take away that Bo Nix mess. How about that?
Yeah.
6 years in a row the road team wins.
You're looking for enthusiasm. Did you watch Travis Williams on the sideline?
Oh, yeah. He was. Matter of fact, they had to get him off the field. The referee was warning him to get off the field. Yeah, it meant a lot to him. You could tell, especially after they got embarrassed last year by them.
And they were a big play offense a year ago. I think they scored 5 or 6 touchdowns, and I think that's the way they have to be. They're not a dominant defense, I should say. They're not a dominant defense.
Yeah.
They do. One thing I love about the DNA of this team is they're top 20 in the country in run offense and run defense, and that's a recipe in any league for winning.
No, well, there's no question. You start with the run. If you can't stop the run, you're in big trouble. I was wondering how you raise the level of competition. I was wondering how we would look on both sides of the ball. I think defensively, still probably about the same. Made a few plays on the defensive line. Offense, I think, Sully, I think we saw a little bit like,
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, we're seeing some plays like we saw last year against better.
Hey, but you got to help the quarterback. I mean, they were free blitzers.
There's some of those, but some of them were beat also physically to where there's plenty of film to hey, okay, boys, we got to get better than this. So.
I didn't see as many outside of the late throws. I didn't see as many as, oh, no, Talen, no. I didn't see as many of those throws.
Like I said, I thought he had a good game. I thought he, compared to what he did the week before.
Yeah.
And, I think Coach Petrino probably felt like that first interception got in his head in the game last week and just to flush it. And, he looked loose. He looked comfortable. But I'm telling you, when he's running around, that's the whole key. You don't want him in the pocket. You want him once
you want him in the pocket.
Not me, because here's the deal. Once he gets outside that pocket, Sully, then the defense has to go. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're the defense, you want to keep him in the pocket.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I like to see. That's why I like the rollouts, the boots. That even when I did the loop-de-doo to get out of the escape, but he really puts pressure on the defense when he's outside the pocket.
Sometimes in the pocket he'll find that crease too. He roll forward.
He has. He did that a few times,
and he gains 15 yards. Snap.
I will say that's a good observation. It looks like he's not going to pick up much yard, and all of a sudden, okay, there's 5 or 6.
Yeah, he scooted up the sideline on a third.
Oh, he's good on the sideline.
Yeah,
he can do a little zigzag, boom. He's there,
and he stays very calm.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's funny. Jaquindon Jackson said in the paper, I told him, you got to calm down, man. Calm down. He doesn't look like the type that gets nervous.
Oaklawn Sports is so simple to use, anyone can do it. Probably even an ex-football player.
And you can take it anywhere. Pocket size, sort of like you, Raj.
Small perhaps, but powerful, like this offer.
Sign up now for Oaklawn Sports and get up to $1,000 in bonus bets.
That's like a do-over in case you make a questionable decision.
Too bad they can't do that for haircuts.
I'm calling your mom.
Now with new and easy funding options. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Woo! Light it.
We can take people where most people cannot take them.
The generations coming together.
That place was jumping.
The Triple Option, presented by Wendy's, wherever you get your podcasts.
I look at this A&M game, and it's to me, it's no different than Auburn. It's another 50-50 game. There's nothing about A&M that really scares me.
Do you know who the quarterback is?
Well, Marcel Reed is a freshman. If he starts, I don't know if their quarterback has been injured. Now, this number 2 guy is a freshman, but he's a dual threat guy, and he's rushed for 100 yards or close to 100 yards in both games he's played.
Well,
and he won at Florida.
Yeah, I'll just say it's not easy to be consistent when you're a freshman.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't do it, but I like that for us that we're playing a freshman. Although 1-11. 1-11
that's just hard to believe.
In the last 12 years at Jerry's World. It makes me sick.
How many of those 11 games or 12 games have we been there thinking, we're going to win that game?
It's literally painful. It's painful. Yeah. It is painful. I remember 2 years ago, you're up 14-0, getting ready to go up 21-0 on the 2-yard line.
That flipped the season.
It did. It flipped the season. It did. You're on the 3-yard line. Just first down. And not only do you fumble to them, and they run it back 98 yards.
And the guy hands it off in the middle of the run, and the other guy goes 70 yards.
Yeah. Again, Jimbo Fisher was 5-1, so I guess Kevin Sullivan before that was undefeated. We never remember Brett Bielema never beat A&M.
Yeah,
never beat him. Probably would still be here if he could have won a few of those.
Crazy.
Yeah, very painful.
Boy, and this game opens up all kinds of opportunities.
Yeah, if you win this game, you're 4-1.
It's a night game, and it's probably ABC.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the game against, and you got nothing to lose against Tennessee.
Yeah, it is a night game. You saw that, right?
Yeah, 6 or 6:30, but it's ABC or ESPN.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on.
Who's Tennessee play this week?
Tennessee is off. Talk about a bad time to catch them. I mean,
I don't know. I think off is fine.
We're going to be coming off 2 physical games.
Yeah, you know what, though, Sully? Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes when you think you don't want to take off.
Yeah.
If Tennessee, we got things going. I like having 2 weeks.
But something he said at his press conference today that they're still healing from the Oklahoma State game, and they had another physical game on top of that. Hey, and one thing about this defense, keep in mind, we're missing.
Did he say that last time?
Yeah.
Did he say still healing? Coach, no more healing. No more healing.
We're missing 2 starters in the defensive backfield.
I know.
Braxton at corner, and then Hudson Clark at safety.
Listen, it's a physical game. You're going to get beat up. Everybody gets beat up. And next man up, we know, hey, it is what it is. And I like that we're physical. I like that we're getting in there, and that's what the game's about.
Where's the Baz enthusiasm meter? It was high after.
It's back up. it was up here at Oklahoma State, and then it went way down UAB. Now it's back up to, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's going to shut down Talen Green? I mean, when he's getting close to 100 yards rushing, you're done. He had 118 if you take away his losses.
Did you think that Petrino got a little conservative there in some parts of the game? I was like,
I think Talen Green got hit so much that he didn't want to run as much. I mean, he took some shots.
Here's what I'm talking about, Sully, too. I didn't see in this game as many crossing routes in middle of the field and post routes. I just saw a lot of routes to the sideline.
Yeah.
And difficult throws. It's like, get him in some rhythm. Let's dump it to the tight end, dump it to the back out of the backfield. We didn't say, how many times has he thrown to the back?
Yeah,
Not many.
I think
how many tight ends? No.
Yeah, I think the back is in protecting most of the time now. Hey, but we get to the point now where they say 4 games into a season, you pretty much know who you are.
Yeah.
When does Bobby Petrino get to the point where I'm going to form the offense around my quarterback now? In what Talen Green does best? Like Baltimore has with Lamar Jackson.
I think you saw a little bit of that Saturday.
Yeah.
I think the design runs were. I thought that was. I think he knows this offense is going to be the Lamar Jackson type offense, and I think you saw some of those runs.
There's going to be some times when you spread everybody out, and he's just going to run the ball.
Did that several times.
Yeah,
which is fine. Here's the deal. I like my number 10 against who you put out to cover him.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, he's tough to tackle.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's when again normally the quarterback, he's not a threat running ball. Yeah. I like you trying to cover our 10 guys or cover our 5 guys, and all of a sudden you got to make it for number 10.
You know what I like about all 3 of our backs?
What's that?
The way they finish. You look at Braylon Russell on that 3rd down. We picked up the 4th and 3. It wouldn't have been. It was on our first touchdown drive. And it wouldn't have been 4th and 3 if he doesn't carry 2 guys.
Yeah, he looked impressive. Yeah, I was impressed with him. And then Rashad Dubinion's out, right?
Yeah, but that Rodney Hill looks good to me too.
Yeah,
I mean,
and isn't that funny about Dubinion? He was just such in a good place,
Yeah.
That's what the deal
if
is.
these guys don't have success, and you've been a guy who's used to being the guy, and now you're number 4, and you see someone like Jaquindon Jackson.
Yeah, could be.
And, hey, to get 22 carries in a physical game like that and to finish the game like he did.
Yeah, I think you saw he didn't have as much help. I think you saw blitzing. They struggled to block on the run. So I think that was part of the deal. That's why he didn't have as many yards. But he's such a hard runner, Sully. I really like him. I hope he stays healthy.
What do you think looking forward to A&M? Anything scare you about the Aggies?
I hadn't had a chance to deep dive as much into them. Again, I think they're always talented. They're always physically going to be talented. But they've always underachieved for not against us, but I think in general terms they've sort of underachieved. I will say this: Jimbo Fisher said it today. He said sometimes when you play a team over and over again, you just sort of get used to, and when you roll out there, these guys have been there 2-3 years. Yeah, we played these guys, we beat them. There's an expectation you're going to win, and so the way you change that is you fight harder if you're the other team. And so I just hope, Sully, that we fight. I think that gave us a little bit of confidence. Like you said, going back and forth and winning an SEC against an SEC opponent. Again, A&M, listen, they get off the bus, they look good. They get they have number 1 class, number 5 class, number 9 class, top 5, top 10. But they haven't always played to their potential. So I think we have a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, we saw Saturday, though, it's the more disciplined team, the team that doesn't make the killer mistakes.
Yeah.
We look back to Oklahoma State, we were that team.
That's right.
And
Auburn did what we did.
Auburn can look at the box score and they outgained us.
Yeah.
But they can look at the mistakes. And you Freeze can point all kinds of figures to all kinds of fingers at people. But he trotted that quarterback out there, and he's supposed to know quarterbacks. And when you have a young quarterback in a situation like that, I would have thought maybe the first or second mistake. I'm saying we need to end this now, but he kept with that guy, and I think the end of the first half may have cost them the game.
Yeah, Thorne to me looked like the better player, and of course, because that freshman played better last week, I guess. And hey, give Travis Williams some credit, give our defense some credit. 5 turnovers. You have 2 plays. So those 2 plays, what do they have? Not much.
Yeah,
you had a run play that you fumbled, but I thought the defense played pretty well.
You mentioned something I think that is critical to this team taking the next step. And that's finding a blitz beater.
Yeah,
the teams just don't line up and go after your quarterback.
Yeah, I'm really stunned by. I kept looking where's somebody.
Do you remember what happened when we went all out with the all out blitz?
When we did?
Yeah,
I can't remember what.
It was the
slant. Yeah. Well, we know why. It's because the DB, the safety, I don't have to say his name, was a horrible angle.
Yeah,
he was there. They had the right call.
But that's a blitz beater.
I know. Well. It shouldn't be because you're right there. Come up and make the tackle. I was like, what happened? How could he have been so open? Because he ran right in front of our guy. The guy he looked like he never played in the secondary before. But no, you're right. It's a risky deal. But did you see also, I can't remember who it was at blitz. He was right there in the path of the ball. He just moved his arm to the right. So it's a risky thing. I didn't mind it, though. You know what? Because you know what? They hadn't been getting a lot of pressure. Fine. But that's just like, oh, man, come on, man. You got to make – Sully, if you're that safety, you're the last guy standing. You got to make the play. Don't make a wrong play that misses it and the guy goes 60,
They got a little more pressure, but they're still not there as a defensive line.
No. But Listen, it is what it is, Sully. Now that I think you see that these guys are just not going to put a lot of pressure by themselves for whatever reason. Play good run defense, which is the most important thing, and then just bring some heat from somebody else. And like I said, I think this defensive line will get a little bit better. I just don't think it's in their DNA to be disruptors and sackers and TFLers that make plays behind the line of scrimmage. They do a little bit, but not enough.
And the expectations for this team now have changed. Remember, the Vegas line to start the season was 4.5. I mean, anything close to that now would be just a huge disappointment.
Well, I know. I think our good friends at Oakland, I think, had that number, and I did not put any money on that. Same thing. I think maybe with Jaquindon Jackson. I think this team's already exceeding expectations.
I made one bet for the football season, and that was the 4.5.
Yeah, over.
And my wife asked me, "Do you normally bet that much on one game?" And it was no. It was like a season bet because I thought it was such a given because that team was so bad last year and had 4 wins.
That's right. Well, that win is the key. The key that with the one we just had. That was the key.
But I'll be disappointed with what we've accomplished so far and what we have for weapons. I mean, there are a few teams in the SEC, if you look around, that have a Green, Jackson, Armstrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree. Mean, those are. And listen, I'm telling you that Armstrong. I've underestimated him. I think he's caught 2 catches. I know he's caught a ball in every game, but I think he's had 26 or 28 multiple game catches.
And he's a small college guy. I hope he's getting paid.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm sure
I imagine his price tag.
Do they get bonuses?
They probably do.
Get bonuses?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I'm serious. Do we get bonuses? I should ask Jimbo Fisher that.
I'd rather pay those guys that earn their bonus rather than just giving the blood money.
I want somebody to ask Coach Pittman, Coach, do they have bonuses?
We're all for Armstrong getting a bonus.
Yes. When you produce, what the heck?
Yeah.
When you don't, maybe don't pay.
Hey, if you ever questioned his toughness, that was remarkable that he came in the next series.
I thought he was done. Yeah, that really tells me a lot about him. I like him. And has he dropped the ball? He's dependable.
No.
He is so dependable.
And it's gotten to the point, any critical situation.
He's a guy.
When Green is in trouble, he's looking for Armstrong.
That third down conversion rate is so important. We've always been pretty bad at that. Yeah. We have not been a great team over the years.
But what makes that number, and we pointed that out, so impressive is it's not 3rd and 2.
No.
The touchdown came on 3rd and 19. What do they call it? 3rd in Birmingham.
Yes. It is a spirit breaker if you're on defense, and for defensive coordinators, it drives them crazy. You're ahead of the sticks, and they pick up 10 or pick up 12 or what. It's like, get off the field. Get off the field is what you got to do.
Yeah, and it's that guy. It's Green.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah, thanks, Frank. By the way,
Frank Fletcher. I love that when opening game when Talen Green, they asked him, "You're coming to Little Rock?" Yeah, I'd like to thank Frank Fletcher.
We all need to thank Frank Fletcher.
But
he's excited for Talen too.
I'll be interested going forward if Bobby doesn't tailor his offense more for Talen Green.
Yeah,
go away from some of the things he's done in the past.
Yeah, again, I think I like what I saw. The only thing, again, I'd like to see him allowed to get some rhythm. He never allowed him passing wise to get. We
did throw a little, quarterback, wide receiver screen, which I think those are the easy routes.
Yeah.
And Armstrong's a big receiver. Throw it over to him and just get a completion and let him go 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, let's get the tight end involved. Let's get the back out of the backfield involved.
You just thought you'd see more easy completions with Bobby Petrino.
That's my point. That's my point. Last week I was like, man, we need to get. There should be lower percentage from a standpoint of difficulty ways to get completions than what we saw the other day.
Yeah, I wondered sometimes if these receivers are getting open because I do see Green back there looking.
Yeah,
and sometimes waiting too long, before he releases the football.
Well, we know Armstrong gets open.
Yeah,
and Satania, if you give enough time, can get open.
And Satania is that guy. I really believe if he, plays like that he made. The quarterback's in the back of his head.
Now he knows. He's dang straight.
If I had a 50-50 ball deep, I'm throwing. And I watched that kid in high school, and he's a track guy.
Yeah.
And he's only like 5'11" or 6 feet. But the dude can get up, and he's competitive.
Yeah, Sully, I think with the offensive line, they're going to have a face of, an athletic defensive line this week. They got to block well.
Well, they can't be any worse against the blitz than they were this week.
Yeah.
Because they were free runners.
I know. We looked unprepared.
Yeah,
which is surprising. We looked prepared for the blitz, whether picking it up, whether blocking it, or an answer to it in terms of scheme. So I'm not sure.
The win this week, what does it do for the program?
Yeah,
the psyche of the program here.
You're 4-1, and you come back home with major momentum. You're 2-0 in the conference. You got Tennessee. You got. I mean, maybe the best home schedule in the history of the school. What, Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU? One of those you got an off weekend there somewhere.
Yeah,
and then Texas at some point. I mean, good Lord. I mean, that place will be rocking. It will be rocking, or as the kids say, lit. It will be lit. It'll be. Wouldn't
it be nice to have big games? It seldom falls where we have the good season when we have all the great teams coming to.
Yes, I agree.
Reynolds Razorbacks
Oh
Stadium.
my gosh,
we're usually there when we're not very good.
Sully, I thought about you Saturday as we ran off the field at Auburn, and I was watching Coach defense coordinator Williams, Travis Williams hug everybody. His Auburn players that he knew, he probably recruited, buddies, Sam Pittman. Calling the Hogs, Talen Green over there in the stand.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing in the world. And that little patch of fans that made that long drive.
Yeah.
And they're making the most noise. And you hear it. And it's just that little bitty patch. And it's just the neatest thing.
Yeah, you've been there on the flip side when you watch them walk off the field.
It's horrible. It's hard. It's just like, and we got to go through the press conference and all this, and everything's better when you win. Yeah. Today's better. This podcast is better.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
can we not tell?
Yeah.
Tell. So, yeah.
And you can download it.
Yes.
What else can you do? Like it and subscribe. Still a little slow on the old podcast lingo.
That's okay. Yes. Do you want to thank Oakland? Sully?
Yes.
Yeah, they. I'm 3-0 on my college picks this last weekend.
It's hard to pick college.
It's not easy. So 3-0. Very happy about that.
You would have been 4-0 if you picked Arkansas.
I know. I'm stay away from Arkansas, but it's really easy. Download it if you've never done it before, Sully. You get $1,000 in bonus bets if you're a new customer. Download it on Apple Play or Google Play. My picks are all on there. And so it's a lot of fun. Appreciate them sponsoring this podcast. We have a lot of fun, and they're good folks too. So easy to operate that out.
Hey, think how much fun next week is if they beat the Aggies and they have Tennessee waiting for them on the next Saturday. A night game.
That's big.
What a great time of year to play a night game at Reynolds
It will
Stadium.
be so much fun. That's why I think Sully. You go, it's Tennessee. We don't have a chance. Night game at home in that stadium. You have a chance. I'm not saying you to win. It makes that much of a difference.
You know what Tennessee struggled against on Saturday?
What's that?
A mobile quarterback.
Is that right? I didn't get a chance to watch much of the game.
And I don't think, you look around the country and I start looking at these quarterbacks. And they had a great line Saturday when they said he's right out of Central Casting.
Yeah, sure.
He's 6'6", 6'7", he's 230, and he's a former sprinter.
Yeah, he's if you're on defense, if you're the head coach of the other team, you go, oh, that's a stud. He's not very heavy and thick, but he's big from a height standpoint and stride standpoint, and he runs hard, he runs smart, and he's got a good arm.
You know what I like about him on 3rd and long?
What's that?
You very seldom see surrender plays. You very seldom see him pitch a 2-yard pass, or he's waiting for the big play.
That's right. Now, just to be honest, the degree of difficulty starts going up.
Yes.
Starts this week. Last week it got a little bit more, and we saw it struggle a little bit offensively. You get a little bit. A&M's got a little bit more, and then all of a sudden it gets real. And I'm not saying that far, but all of a sudden, okay, you're gonna have to raise your game now to beat these next few teams.
You just would think a team that runs the ball as well as Arkansas does, the passing would be a little easier.
Gives us a chance. That's right. But it's a combination of everything. We got to get better. Saw some. I saw one of the tight ends that completely olayed. And I know it just drove Petrino crazy, and a couple of the offensive linemen just, they struggle. So they can get better. That's teaching tape. The main thing, Sully, they won the game.
Yeah.
They won a close game.
You know what's going to bother Bobby a little bit since he's a system guy, that most of the damage offensively is being done outside the framework of the offense on ad-lib situations.
No.
Hey, it still is offense, but it's the kid he recruited.
I know. Sully, it's 2 weeks in a row now. I came out with, hey, we're going to get that third 600-yard game in a row offensively, and we haven't been. And that's okay. You want to win. That's all that matters.
You're still good on 3rd down.
I think that's the key. And turnover-wise, we have 2 turnovers. Is that right? 2?
Yeah.
One of them was a tip ball, I think.
Yeah, and going forward, I think you're going to see Petrino being more and more aggressive in the red zone, because he's got to be to the point where he's fed up trusting this kicker. where he doesn't want to settle for 3.
He doesn't. He
doesn't watch the
So I can only imagine. Him turning his head and he hears this at Auburn. And he knows he missed a 40-yarder. Best line of the day, press box, DJ Williams looks at me and goes, after he missed the kick, he said, what do these guys do during the week? What do they do during the week? What do they do? They not practice for the 40-yard field goal?
It's a little different when you're out there with 70,000, 80,000 people.
I know that young man's trying his best, but man, we got to be better 50%.
Coach Pittman pointed out he hit that last
kick. He did. Thank goodness
10.
We needed that kick. There's no question about it. That's right.
All right. I want to thank you. I know your schedule is just bonkers
It's all
these days.
Good. It's all good.
Who's Touchdown Club next week?
Greg McElroy, who played one of the loudest games he said he's ever been in, that game against Alabama versus Arkansas.
And he's an SEC guy, so it'd be good to get his perspective.
Listen, he played at Alabama for Nick Saban, and he's one of the best. I think he's the next Kirk Herbstreit. He's number 2 for ESPN. Very smart, cerebral guy. But good guy too. So he'll be, and hopefully we'll be talking about a win like today was. I was happy, feeling good. I like it.
It affects everything.
It does. Yeah.
All right, I appreciate you.
All right, Sully. We'll talk next week.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Hog Central Podcast. New episodes drop each Tuesday on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for tuning in to the Hog Central Podcast.